I'm making this video for anyone who compulsively feels the need to finish things even when they know that it's not serving them anymore. Which means I'm also making this video for myself. And for regular viewers of this channel, there's also a little bit of an announcement I have at the end, so make sure you stick around for that. So to contextualize this, I started reading this book at the beginning of the year. And this is where I'm at. I don't know if it's going to focus. That's the start, that's the finish. I picked it up because I wanted to challenge myself with some actual literature and see if I could do it. And in the first few days of reading it, I was like, oh my God, I actually can do it. So I committed to finishing the entire book. I was like, I want to be the sort of person that can read Dostoevsky and do it as nighttime reading. Because I read fiction before bed. It really helps me sleep, it improves my sleep, and improves my life. So I started off reading it, and it was quite difficult, but I was enjoying it. I was really enjoying it. I was kind of understanding the plot, understanding the characters. There were lots of them, but I was connecting the dots, really enjoying it. And then as months went by, it started to get even more complicated. As I kept going, I started to miss days, which meant that when I would come back later, I would have forgotten about some of the characters or some of the plot lines, which meant that it was more difficult, which would make the next session more difficult, and then more difficult. Fast forward to today, and I haven't read it in 2 months. I haven't read a page in 2 months. And I haven't replaced it with a different book to read before bed because no, that would mean quitting. And I can't quit reading this book. I said I was going to finish it, which has meant that I've just been on my phone or watching some YouTube or doing something stupid till 1 a.m. in the morning a lot of times, which has meant that I've enjoyed my work the next day less, had worse mood, had less energy. The cycle continues and my life has just been worse. All because I need to finish this book. Now, you probably have something similar like that as well. It could be a song which you're working on and you feel like you need to finish, but it's not working at all. Or it could be even a Netflix series or something where you're like, I need to get to the end of this show, but I've got 2 seasons left to go, but I'm not enjoying it at all. I think the reason that we feel the need to finish a lot of these things is because it serves us most of the time. In so many parts of our lives, we have seen the results of finishing something and seeing it through and seen how positive that can be. And me particularly, as a creative and someone who makes stuff continually, I'm constantly seeing that curve of progress where you start something, it's really fun, and then it gradually gets harder and harder and harder. And if you quit there, you don't see the returns of sharing it with other people and getting people to actually enjoy your work. So I'm constantly seeing the benefit of finishing stuff. That it means that when one of these events comes along where it actually doesn't serve us, it's really hard to discern between this event and another one where we're just being lazy. So how do we give ourselves permission to, when we feel that something is wrong and we don't need to finish this thing, to stop it? And I think you kind of need to treat yourself as if you were someone else that you wanted to help out. If you imagine there's 2 parts of you, you can imagine there's the part of you that needs to ask for permission and then the other part that needs to give permission. So the first part is being honest with yourself. So being honest about why you actually want to stop doing this thing. Is it really because it's not serving you anymore and you can see a better path forward? Or is it just because you're lazy? You've got to be really honest with yourself because the second part won't work otherwise. That could take a bit of time to actually get to the bottom of it and a lot of self-reflection. But once you've gotten to the bottom of that, you've got to do the second part, which is give yourself permission and trust yourself. Trust that the first part of you is telling the truth and not be a tyrant to yourself. Maybe if we can do both of those things, we can actually give ourselves permission to do something which is the best for us. So yes, I'm making this video to give myself permission to stop reading this book. But I'm also making this video to give myself permission to stop doing weekly uploads. About 5 months ago, I committed to doing weekly uploads to the end of the year, which would take me into 2024. And now it's pretty much December, I think, when this video goes live. And I'm going to quit. I've been deliberating this over the last few weeks, and I've come to the conclusion that it's not actually serving me anymore as much as an alternative which I can see. I have a lot of exciting things that I want to do starting in 2025 on this channel and elsewhere, and I just need a little bit more space to explore those things. Doing weekly uploads has given me so much, and it's taught me so much, and I'm so grateful for it, and I wouldn't change it for the world. And I've got a video which I'm thinking of doing about that and about all the things that I've learned from it. But I've reached a point where I can see that it is not the best path for me forward. And having the courage to give myself permission to quit it has been difficult. It's been very, very difficult. And when I made both of these commitments to this book and to these videos, I didn't have all the information at the beginning, and that's okay. It's all right to make commitments to things where we don't know how it's going to play out and what all the information is going to be. We're never going to have all the information. So I wouldn't change that, and that's no reason to stop making these commitments. It's just to say that we should never blindly follow some commitment we've made in the past if it's not serving us anymore. And for regular viewers of this channel, that's not going to mean much, really. I'm still going to be making very similar videos. They're just not going to be every single week. It's probably pretty dumb, but for me, there's something really special about quitting something when I can see the finish line. Like when I'm in part 4 of that book, or when I'm 1 month away from completing this 6 months of weekly uploads. It's like I'm looking my sunk cost fallacy like dead in the face and saying, I will not be controlled by you. So yeah, hopefully me giving you 2 examples of where I'm quitting here could be your little permission slip to stop watching that series or to stop working on that song if you really needed it. This video is my permission slip, and hopefully it's yours. I'll see you very soon.